How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Still mid-July after the first couple days of free agency. Things have certainly slowed down. Still plenty to unfold when there's more news on the Kevin Durant situation. Potentially lots of things can be happening. Contenders will look to get better, signing low-risk, high-reward guys. The Andrew Wiggins trade for D'Angelo Russell package benefited Golden State big time, making them the 2022 champions. While bad teams will continue being bad for quite some time maybe, today, let's take a look at 10 of the biggest low-risk, high-reward free agent signings that won't hurt the team too severely, but the payoff can be massive, can be absolutely worth the move. Starting with the Golden State Warriors, of course, Donte DiVincenzo, who's been under the radar since his injury and overlooked after not being active for the Bucks in the 2022 title run. The 25-year-old became the full-time star during the 2021 season. A vital piece, part of the Serge Ibaka trade, averaged a quiet 9-4 a season ago in 42 games. But a little below his production after the injury, 10.5 points, 6 rebounds for the 2021 season. Another athletic wing who can crash the glass, a hustle energy guy. That's how Andrew Wiggins made Golden State the champions, by hustling and putting his energy out on the floor, doing all the little things besides scoring. A 2-year, $9 million deal, a player option, not too bad, will allow the Splash Brothers and Draymond to play more lax for regular season, can be seen as an upgrade from Gary Payton II, a better outside shooter, a huge asset for Golden State, making them even deeper, especially in the second unit with Jordan Poole. The team easily will have the contenders looking for a repeat. On to the Los Angeles Clippers. How about point guard John Wall? On a 2-year, $13 million deal, the soon-to-be 31-year-old played a whooping 40 games in just the last 3 seasons. Empty stats with Houston on bad efficiency, going 12 of 28, still averaging over 20 a game 2 seasons ago, have some skills left. If he's resting to recover his body all of last season, expect him to start and be more of a playmaker, something the Clippers missed big time since having Kawhi and PG. The last season John Wall was healthy, 23 points, nearly 11 assists. He was a bad man, but that was back in 2017. This is now 2022, heading into 2023. As John Wall creeping into his 30s, will he be the same? Who knows? Not viewed as a savior, already on a stacked team, Wall's passing can complement the ISO scores of Paul George, being the main facilitator, not always the best sign. Ty Lue, an excellent player coach, gets the best out of his guys, just like #1 pick Andrew Wiggins, who silenced his doubters. If Wall can do the same for 2023, it will solidify him as a Hall of Famer, a remarkable story after the gruesome injury. How about the Denver Nuggets stealing from the Brooklyn Nets, signing Bruce Brown on a 2-year, $13 million deal? Many Nets fans who watched Brown play thought he could sign for maybe 3 years in the $40 million range. A scrappy role player who brings tons of energy to the team, will get plenty of open looks from 2-time former MVP Nikola Jokic. In Brooklyn, averaged almost 9 and 5, nearly 24 minutes a game, started 82 of 137 games, many of his shots near the basket. At times, plays the 4 and 5 spot, where the Nets super short-handed, used as a power forward and finishes on taller defenders. Doesn't have plays called for him. All he needs to do is get open and Jokic will find him. Plays hard, will need to improve on the 3-point shooting. Great impact playing alongside ball dominant scores, especially when Murray's back. Brown's the guy who will guard the opposing team's best scorers, an excellent cutter. Nuggets fans will see many teardrops and layups multiple times a game. Brown's signing leads to smile to Nugget fans to make them forget about the atrocious signing of DeAndre Jordan the day before getting Brown. How about the Lakers signing a low-risk, high-reward guy? Who is it? It's Thomas Bryant. Big men center, the 24-year-old signed for 1 year, just $2 million. Absolutely huge upside and likely the best player the team can get on that small contract. The only problem is his injury history. Only played 83 total games the last 3 seasons combined, 27 games a season ago.
Ineffective for Washington? Just 10 games in 2021, but given those games, averages of 14.3 points, over 6 rebounds on 65% shooting. If he can produce just 10 and 5 for LA, a huge win. Bryant's presence will allow Anthony Davis to play the 4, 6'10 with a 7'6 wingspan. The team waived him years ago for Subox, playing over 50 games one time in just 5 seasons. If healthy, can earn himself a decent contract. Not a bad option for the Lakers.
On to the Boston Celtics. How about the 34-year-old Danilo Gallinari, soon to be 34-year-old, still seeking for that championship. The last 2 seasons with Atlanta, off the bench, power forward, 117 games played with the ATL, averaged 12.5 points for that team. Last season, 11.7 points, almost 5 rebounds on 38% shooting from deep. 2 years, $13 million, sounds about right, playing for his childhood favorite team despite having tons of injuries over his career.
Gallo on the healthier side last couple years. 2021 playoffs, off the bench, 13 points in 18 games, a good regular season addition, especially if bigs like Horford or Williams banged up from injuries. With the penetration of Brown and Tatum, plus new addition Malcolm Brogdon. Gallo, an efficient open jump shooter, will allow the best players to rest up and probably be very limited come 2023 playoff time.
On to the Milwaukee Bucks. How about coming off his ACL injury, Joe Ingles? A season ago, just played 45 games, will be 35 already in October, averaged 7 points a game last season, a huge decline from years ago, but how about 1 year, just $6.5 million, can run the offense with the second unit, elite floor spacer, not afraid to take the big shots, an instigator, always ready to bring some heat, some intensity, might cause some drama and overreact, but of course, he's got Serge Ibaka to back him up, so no worries there, could pay dividend for Milwaukee.
Utah wasn't the same with the Conley and Gobert lineups after Ingles went down. Good pick and roll ball handler at 6'8", will certainly run a lot of plays with Giannis. If Ingles can even go back to his 80% self, could be a real difference maker for the Bucks. Never relied on athleticism to begin with. Likely won't play till the end of 2022 or early 23. The 2021 postseason, a 10 points a game guy with good outside shooting.
How about the Sacramento Kings, signing for 2 years, $19 million for the very minimum last season, Malik Monk from the Los Angeles Lakers. One of the very rare positives from the disorganized team a season ago, had the best season of his career, averaged nearly 14 points a game on just 11 shot attempts, 28 minutes, solid shooting percentages. The Lakers certainly wouldn't have won that many games without Monk's presence and shot-making abilities.
Reunited with college backcourt teammate De'Aaron Fox, the two a problem at Kentucky. An upgrade, can play crunch time minutes and make shots in big situations. A very poor man's version of Bradley Beal, does a lot of the good things and most of the things Buddy Hield does at less than half the price. If hot, Monk can be very deadly, but if cold, can be tough to watch. Only 24 of age, showing some promise. Monk could have gotten a 3 to 4 year deal on some teams. Could be one of the best signings the Kings can have over the last decade.
The Brooklyn Nets, how about the underrated signing of T.J. Warren, the one-hit wonder in the bubble after missing the entire 2022 season with a foot injury, playing just 4 games during the 2021 season. Warren's last full season absolutely balled out, averaged nearly 20 points, 4 rebounds on 54% shooting in 67 games with the Pacers.
Absolutely unconscious in the bubble, consecutive stress fractures, Brooklyn getting him on a 1-year, $2.6 million deal, age 28. Many believe the Nets signing Warren was a sign to please Durant to stay, a walking bucket when healthy. Warren never came close to playing every game, just 43 contests in 2019 with the Suns, August 2020 at the height of his basketball powers, all bubble first team, 31 a game in those 8 games. If KD even came across those tapes, perhaps he might stay. Getting a very low contract when many expect a mid-level exception, Warren can redeem himself in a win-win situation for a team by all accounts being healthy. Bubble Jordan can either dream of his good old days in Disneyland or show the world there's more to prove.
How about the New York Knicks? signing for 2 years $12 million Isaiah Hartenstein as a backup big, formerly with the Los Angeles Clippers, averaged 8.3 points, 5 rebounds in just 18 minutes for LAC. Very reliable off the bench, shot over 62% from the field a season ago, a start in his role, finishes down low with 2 hands, soft touch around the rim, underrated passer.
Good in the pick and roll, although this is a small sample size. Went 14 of 30 from 3 last season, plays great team ball, at times too unselfish, and always looking for the backdoor cuts to his perimeter players. Reminds me of a very poor man's version of David Lee.
Last but not least, how about Victor Oladipo resigning with the Miami Heat? Still hasn't been his full self since the injury and likely will never go back to prime Vic. That ship has sailed, but his production with the Heat in 8 regular season games as a role player, age 30, averaged 10.6 points, 1.3 steals in 15 playoff games for Miami. Not a great shooter at all. Signed a multi-year deal, 2 years worth $18.2 million for the Heat. Getting a former 2-time All-Star for so little money, great for the team, way better than Duncan Robinson, who barely plays in the 2022 postseason.
But for Oladipo, who turned down a 4-year $113 million deal with the Pacers and then a 2-year $45 million extension with Houston, only to settle for a vet minimum, shows he cares very little about the money as much as choosing his team, betting on himself on a contender in Miami. On the bright side, his defense still very good, stripped and locked up Jaylen Brown several times in the conference finals, not needed to play heavy minutes. The franchise can allow him to pace up and get ready for the playoffs. Could very easily have signed a bigger contract years ago, but could be better than what he agreed for.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Which one of these players do you think has the biggest low risk, high reward potential? Let me know in the comments below. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button for more content. If you want to learn more about NBA history or current NBA or want some NBA predictions, the best NBA insight, just subscribe to Wilson Tsai. I love all of you. See you next time.